Fear does not begin as a thought. It begins as a signal inside the nervous system. Before conscious awareness has time to interpret a situation, the brain is already reacting. This is because fear evolved not to explain reality, but to respond to potential danger as quickly as possible. Speed mattered more than accuracy. Survival depended on acting first and understanding later. At the center of this process is the amygdala, a small structure located deep within the brain. Its role is to scan incoming information for threat. It does not evaluate logic or context, it evaluates risk. When sensory data enters the brain, it takes two main routes. One route moves to the cortex, where reasoning and interpretation occur. The other, faster route goes directly to the amygdala. This shortcut allows fear to activate before conscious thought. If the amygdala detects anything that resembles danger, uncertainty, or past threat, it sends an immediate alarm. The body responds instantly. Heart rate increases, muscles tense, breathing changes. Stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol flood the bloodstream. Attention narrows toward whatever the brain believes matters most. At this point, fear already exists before the mind has named it. Memory plays a critical role in how fear is created. The brain constantly compares present experiences to past ones. If a situation resembles a previous negative or threatening experience, the fear response can activate even if the current situation is objectively safe. The brain is not asking whether the threat is real. It is asking whether it is familiar. This is how fear becomes learned. Repeated exposure strengthens neural pathways. Each time fear is activated, the brain becomes more efficient at producing it again. Over time, less stimulus is required. Eventually, anticipation alone can trigger fear. The body reacts not to what is happening, but to what might happen. Fear also influences how attention is directed. When fear is present, the brain prioritizes information that confirms danger and filters out information that contradicts it. This selective attention reinforces the fear response. The mind becomes focused on threat-related cues while ignoring signals of safety. What you notice changes. What you ignore changes. This bias makes fear self-reinforcing. Another structure involved in fear creation is the hippocampus, which provides context to memory. When fear is paired with strong emotion, the hippocampus encodes the situation more vividly. This makes fearful memories easier to recall and harder to modify. Over time, even partial reminders of a past experience can activate a full fear response. Fear also changes time perception. Under threat, the brain shifts into rapid processing mode. Moments feel longer. Reactions feel urgent. This distortion reinforces the belief that immediate action is necessary, even when no real danger exists. Fear alters how information is processed. When fear is active, the brain simplifies reality. Complex reasoning becomes harder. Nuance disappears. The mind seeks clarity, certainty, and immediate resolution. This narrowing of perception is useful in real danger, but limiting in everyday life where threats are often symbolic or imagined. In modern environments, fear is rarely tied to physical threats. Instead, it is triggered by psychological signals. Rejection, uncertainty, loss of control, ambiguity, and social evaluation activate the same circuitry once reserved for predators and injury. To the brain, these experiences still represent risk to survival. The brain does not distinguish between physical danger and emotional threat. Because fear is processed faster than logic, it often feels absolute. The sensation arrives fully formed. Explanations come later. By the time reasoning appears, the emotional conclusion already feels true. This is why fear can feel convincing even when evidence contradicts it. Fear is not created by conscious choice. It is created by neural prediction, memory, and speed. Awareness changes how fear operates. When fear is recognized as a biological process rather than a statement about reality, its control weakens. The sensation may still arise, but it no longer dictates belief. Observation interrupts automatic response and restores cognitive flexibility. Fear is fast. Understanding is slower. Learning how fear is created in the brain is the first step toward preventing it from quietly shaping decisions, behavior, and perception without consent.